The EU's Home Affairs Commissioner tells Euronews that Wednesday's shipwreck off the coast of Greece shows just why the EU's migration policy is in dire need of reform.
France announces a major plan to support AI at this year's Viva Tech in Paris, Europe's largest innovation and startup fair.
Yet another shipwreck in the Mediterranean Sea with dozens of deaths on Wednesday shows just why the EU's migration policy is in dire need of reform. That's what the bloc's Home Affairs Commissioner Ylva Johansson says in an exclusive interview with Euronews.
I think it's like this is a sign of why our migration policy is not working well today. So that's with the new pact, one of the most important things, and that was the big achievement last week, is that we show that we can work together on migration. The blocking situation that we had for 7 years is gone.
Indeed, the agreement reached among EU member states last week is a significant step forwards for Commissioner Johansson, who hopes to complete the entire process by the end of the year.
This is the first time ever we have a huge majority in Council agreeing that there should be a minimum quotas for relocation set already in advance. And this could, of course, be higher if the needs are higher. But they are putting into the legislative text a minimum number. And I think this is a historic decision that they could agree on this.
Once it's in force, all member states will have to comply with the regulation, explains Johansson. Even Poland and Hungary, who voted against the agreement, reached in the EU Council. Another relevant aspect is the external dimension of migration. The bloc is trying to ensure better cooperation with North African countries. The pledge of €1 billion in financial assistance for Tunisia, for what it calls a comprehensive approach to migration management, raises questions about the possible violation of human rights in the country.
There are points that we have been criticizing and we probably continue to criticize, not only in Tunisia but also in other partner countries. But at the same time, we have to work with them. So this is not a black or white situation. We have to do the best out of the situation. But that, of course, means that in some instances, we also need to criticize.
It's not just countries outside the EU, but also private actors that can help Europe to better manage migration across the Mediterranean. And unlike some EU governments, Commissioner Johansson appreciates the work of NGO vessels.
Are NGO vessels a pull factor or not?
NGOs are doing a great job and they are saving lives. I think this is the most important. Of course, NGOs are a bit different and they act differently, but my overall view is that NGOs are doing a lot to support migrants and to rescue lives in the Mediterranean, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
A final farewell to Italy's former Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi in Milan, who died on Monday, aged 86. The late media mogul's state funeral in the city's Gothic Duomo Cathedral was attended by friends, family, political allies and rivals, as well as figures from the worlds of TV and football, from which he built his fortune. Despite the financial and sexual scandals that surrounded him, Berlusconi was Italy's longest-serving premier, having held the post on 3 occasions. He will be remembered as a divisive leader, but also a hugely influential one, as our correspondent Giorgio Orlandi explains.
Around 10,000 people have gathered here in Piazza del Duomo in Milan to pay their last tribute to Silvio Berlusconi. We've been hearing several rounds of applause with people chanting Silvio, Silvio, and there's only one president. We've seen many football fans who have come here to pay the last tribute to AC Milan's former president, and we've also seen many of his political supporters. Everyone here seems to be touched by the news of his death, and it really seems that everyone here, both his supporters and enemies, agree on the fact that he's left a significant mark on Italian history. Giorgio Orlandi for Euronews in Milan.
At least 78 people have died and dozens are feared missing off the coast of southern Greece after a fishing boat carrying migrants capsized and sank, authorities said Wednesday. Search and rescue authorities said 104 people have been rescued so far, following the incident some 75 kilometres southwest of Greece's southern Peloponnese region. 4 of the survivors were hospitalised with symptoms of hypothermia. It was unclear how many passengers might still be missing at sea, the Greek Coast Guard said. It is believed the boat set sail from the Tobruk area in eastern Libya and was bound for Italy. The Greek Coast Guard has already had to tow a migrant boat to shore in the past week as smugglers push more boats across the Mediterranean.
Germany has woken up to the growing military, economic and social risks it faces. That was the message from the government as it unveiled an integrated security strategy, unprecedented in the country's post-World War II history. The approach was first mooted by the ruling coalition 2 years ago, but has been given new impetus by Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
Konsequenterweise folgt die nationale Sicherheitsstrategie dem Leitbild einer integrierten Sicherheit. Es geht nicht allein um Verteidigung und Bundeswehr, sondern um die ganze Palette unserer Sicherheit über Diplomatie genauso wie Polizei, Feuerwehr und technische Hilfswerke, über die Entwicklungszusammenarbeit, über Cybersicherheit und über die Resilienz von Lieferketten.
Germany's foreign ministry says integrated security was crucial at both an international and national level.
Und so wie wir integrierte Sicherheit mit unseren Partnerinnen und Partnern, insbesondere in der Europäischen Union und in den Vereinten Nationen zusammendenken, bedeutet integrierte Sicherheit eben auch innere und äußere Sicherheit zusammenzudenken.
Berlin has stepped up military spending since the Ukraine war, and the document confirms that Russia will be regarded as the greatest security threat for the foreseeable future. But in a departure from long-standing policy, it also advocates the need to be wary of China as a potential risk to national interests. A new blow from Brussels to the internet search engine Google. The European Commission has formally accused its parent company Alphabet of abuse of its dominant position in the advertising technology sector. And the Competition Commissioner Margrethe Vestager has taken it very seriously.
At this stage of the investigation, we believe that Google's conduct may amount to an abuse of a dominant position. If proven, these conducts would be illegal under our rules. We should look ahead. If we come to the conclusion that these practices are illegal, we'll need to ensure that they are brought effectively to an end.
Alphabet made €55 billion in profits last year. This is the 4th charge by Brussels against Google and could result in a fine of up to 10% of the company's global annual revenue if the infringements are proven. Brussels considers that a change in Google's conduct will not solve the problem.
In Budapest, the world's first permanent exhibition of photojournalist Robert Kappa's life's work has opened at the Robert Kappa Contemporary Photography Centre. Born in the Hungarian capital in 1913, his work followed wars and conflict, where he captured both the soldiers in the trenches and the everyday life of the hinterland from the position of an observer.
500 képet láthatunk ebben a kiállításban, mintegy 140 fizikálisan kiállított képet, és a többi pedig vetített kép. És hogy mitől eredeti? Hát nagyon sok mindentől, de ezek a képek valóban olyan másolatok, amelyek most csak egyedileg léteznek, illetve 3 ilyen sorozat létezik a világban Robert Kappáról.
Kappa was famously quoted as saying, "If your pictures aren't good enough, it's because you weren't close enough." Perhaps fitting that he died by stepping on an anti-personnel mine during the Indochina War in 1954. The exhibition explores the main stages in the photographer's life, arranged according to the themes defined by his work, and incorporates interactive technology.
Lehet nagyítani, lehet újságoldalt szerkeszteni, lehet látni egy nyomdahengert, amin forog a kész újság, és egy monitoron be lehet lapozni a korabeli lapok világába.
Robert Kappa had a major impact on the photojournalism profession and war photography. Beyond his photographs, the ethical principles and dedication that Kappa embodied have remained important pillars of the photojournalism profession ever since.
Artificial intelligence is at the heart of the 7th edition of Viva Technology, Europe's largest trade fair for innovation and startups, which opened this Wednesday in Paris. On this occasion, France unveiled a major plan to support French AI, with the aim to compete with major American and Chinese players.
On est totalement déterminés pour ne pas revivre ce que nous avons vécu avec les GAFAM il y a quelques années ou quelques décennies, c'est-à-dire l'Europe laissée de côté, dépassée par les États-Unis et incapable d'être indépendante. Sur l'intelligence artificielle, nous voulons livrer le combat.
More than 2,400 startups and major companies from all over the world have come together for 4 days of exchanges and business, as the tech market is experiencing a calmer period than the euphoria of 2020 and 2021.
Pendant le Covid, tout le monde s'est emballé. Les investisseurs ont donné des millions à des startups qui parfois n'en valaient pas la peine. C'est retour à la normale. La question aujourd'hui, c'est avec la montée des taux d'intérêt que personne n'a vu venir, est-ce qu'on va pouvoir continuer à prendre du risque? Aujourd'hui à Viva Tech, on a plus de 2000 investisseurs qui viennent pour voir les meilleures startups. On sent qu'il y a quelque chose qui se passe.
South Korea is in the spotlight this year. Home to a number of technology giants, the country has most recently established itself as a global hub for startups, and they're counting on Europe to step onto the global stage.
Until a few years ago, Korean government and K-startup only focused on US market. But we are aware that the Euro market is bigger and very growing faster. So let's go together and let's make a very bright future for human.
Other major themes at this year's show include the environment, inclusivity and sport in the run-up to the Paris Olympics.
L'un des moments clés, ce sera ce vendredi et la venue prévue d'Elon Musk, le patron sulfureux de Twitter, SpaceX et Tesla. Il doit prendre la parole devant 4000 personnes alors que la France espère être choisie pour une future usine Tesla. Cyril Forneris, Euronews, Paris.